Come on in. Come on in. Yeah, we're glad you made it.
Okay.
Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. This is where your faith gets activated. Hey!
From your car right to your kitchen, from the office to your street. If you're tired, if you're searching, there's a welcome at the seat. Got some laughter, got some truth, got a fire we can't contain. Sit down like family, leave standing up change, oh yeah. Welcome to the porch and the pulpit, where the real talk meets the word, where your story meets his promise, every heart, every hurt. Cheryl and James say, come on, let your hope rise, sing, let it live.
Yes, sir.
Hi, welcome to the Porch and the Pulpit, where faith and everyday life meet in real conversation. I'm Cheryl.
And I'm James. So come pull up a chair and join us for this conversation that we're about to have as we talk about, resting in Jesus. Just getting away from it all and getting a chance to give our bodies rest. But before we take that dive, Cheryl, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you? So we wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do a lighter topic. The last couple of weeks we were talking about some very serious topics, and then today we wanted to talk about something a little lighter, especially since Minister James is on vacation. And today we're going to be talking about rest and
Right.
how important it is to rest. And we are in a society right now, or a time right now, where, things are so much happening and people having to work, several jobs and do, things just to survive, that rest seems like it's something that's not even in the equation anymore.
It's a foreign
Uh,
word.
right. It's just a thing of words. We have so many things that are going on at churches these days, or even with pastors themselves. And I was telling him, I said, that there's some pastors now that don't just have one service. They have multiple services. No, pastors that have 8 o'clock service, 10 o'clock service, twelve
Yes.
o'clock service, and
Mm-hmm.
then have a 6 o'clock service. And then I'm
Right.
I'm like, where do they find the energy to be, full strength at all of these services, and then have service on Monday, and then a Wednesday, and then there on a
Mm-hmm.
Friday
You got
night,
Bible
and
study, Sunday
right, and
school.
all of that. I know when we were coming up, we had several things that were going on in church, but it just seems like it's a different level now.
And like you
Right.
said, they have multiple services. Some have multiple services in multiple states, and they fly from this place and go into another place. And I'm like, that's exhausting. Okay,
Exactly.
being in leadership is exhausting by itself. But when you have an itinerary, okay, an itinerary, and you're going from place to place to place, and then not only are you in full time ministry, some people are in full time ministry, some people have jobs on top of the ministry, they work natural jobs, and it's like,
Right.
when do you get a break?
Right.
When do you get a chance to recharge? You
Right.
know, somebody need a nap.
Right.
You know, you know,
Exactly.
because it's like, we're like, we get to the point to where we're like gerbils. The gerbils, and they put them in the wheel, and they just running around in circles. And that's what it seems like. Cause you're constantly running, and you're literally burning yourself out.
Exactly.
So you're literally burning yourself out. And I believe that that it is biblical for us to rest.
Right.
Just to take a break. But what does that look like? What does that look like today?
Exactly. Right.
What does that look
Right.
like?
Exactly. What does that look like? I know, when I was younger and everything, it used to be always instilled or always talked about that, well, Jesus rested. He rested on the seventh day, he rested. But when we talk about on the seventh day for us, the seventh day is not really resting because we, like I said, we go to
Yeah.
church and then time
Mhm.
that you're spending. If you are a person who's in ministry or in leadership, then you're not really resting on that seventh day. Now you at you know, 5, 6 different services or
6 different
right, or playing
afternoon.
right, or playing for the services, or singing for the services, or you know,
Mhm.
audio for the services, and all kind of things in different capacities. But it is important not only for, you know, pastors, people who are in leadership and service,
Mhm.
and like you said, to rest, and even people who are not, you know, who come to church and things, or Christians, just to carve out a time where they can then get rest and get their minds together. And we just came out a good time for summertime. But Mr.
Yeah.
James, it's
Yeah.
different because my summer looked like it got cut short because my grandson
Yeah.
goes back to school
Mhm.
next week. So here
Yes,
in
and that's
Georgia, they start
mhm.
school next week. In New York, don't start school until September after
September.
Labor Day. So it seems
Mhm.
like a whole time for where you would you still be enjoying your summer. Now these kids are back in
Yeah.
school, so it's like yes,
Summertime is like, unless you rich and affluent, if that have it like that,
uh-huh,
summertime is literally the most people take their break. They
right,
kind of like, go on vacations more, they travel more, but, like you said, different parts of the state. So, in the South, if you said go to school early,
yes,
you up north, it's later. And then all of that, could be weary, when we were coming up, right, it was a time to where, we could speak to our parents or grandparents about this, or maybe people who have actually experienced it. But there was a time when Sunday came. Sunday was actually full of quizzically that nothing moved on Sunday.
uh-huh,
Okay, nothing
right,
moved on Sunday. School, everything was there was no school, there was no work, there was no stores were closed. You gotta get everything done before Sunday because you just slacked the entire day to get filled, get that rest, like physical rest.
exactly.
But
You better not iron. You better not be ironing. The
don't do
grandma
nothing,
said don't do no ironing,
nothing,
don't do no washing of
nothing,
clothes, don't go to no grocery store, nothing. you
nothing.
you were in the
Get all
house.
that stuff
Yeah,
on
yes,
Saturday. You in the house.
yes,
You just
yes. That's right.
nothing. When people say, like we say, keep the Sabbath holy,
Right.
and Jewish customs they keep the Sabbath, which is like that Saturday. So that Saturday they literally don't touch to do anything,
Right.
and they go on their walks and their pilgrimages. Take
Uh,
that time out to kind of restore and get your stuff together. Taking that rest or taking that break does not always physically mean that you have to go thousands and thousands of miles away.
right.
It could be
Right.
turning off the computer, turning off the phone,
Right.
going for a walk, something to kind of rejuvenate your body,
Exactly.
and
Mm-hmm.
to get in tune. But the way the world is, and I know a lot of folks are saying, "Oh, we're not of the world, we're in the world." Now, I don't think people really understand what that means. When the Bible tells us that says that we are not of this world, but we are in this world, which basically means that we are set apart
Mm-hmm.
and we're not partaking in the sinful behaviors of the world. So, but being that we're here living and the world is always changing and evolving, and the way the economy is, and the way, we have to put food on the table, pay rent, our bills, and, they make it harder to do those things. So you find yourself, okay,
Mm-hmm.
working one job, two jobs, weekends, you're constantly moving, working so you can make sure that you have enough resources in order to make those ends. That's just the way it is.
Right.
So you can be hard pressed to rest in between those things because, the little bit of time that you might have, you you always have something to do. Not that you're finding things to do, you have
Mm-hmm.
responsibility. So and sometimes you could be doing it by yourself. You could have help, but even with help, it still gets hard because you still got responsibilities and things like that. And it's like, Lord, it's like, I don't know.
Right.
But how does that work? How do we do that? How do we get to that point to where we just say, enough? I'm just going to take this, you
Right.
know, before we physically burn out.
Exactly. Exactly. So, in talking about rest, we wanted to talk about Matthew 11:28 to 30. And
Yes.
Matthew 11 says 28 to 30, "Come to me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take
Hmm.
my yoke upon you and have from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For your yoke is easy and my burden is light."
Yes. So, now I believe when you look at that, that's a prescription,
Mm,
straight from the Bible, straight from God on how we rest, because the rest that we need lies in Christ. It takes a spiritual meaning, to give
mm-hmm,
your soul rest, because you find rest in Jesus, with the alleviation of sin and the cares of this world. Cast those things on Him. When you're going through a lot of uh, troubles, issues, and circumstances, just living life itself is hard, because
mm-hmm,
they're laden with burdens. Work can be a burden.
right,
Raising children can be a burden, because it's not necessarily something that you don't enjoy doing, but it can be taxing on your body, your mind. So God is saying, listen, come, you can cast those things on me. I got it. I'll make it easy for you to handle,
mm-hmm,
spiritual, you know, is physically, naturally, the body itself requires rest. The body itself requires rest in order to rejuvenate, even to heal itself. If you break your arm, you have to rest, in order for it to heal properly. It has to stay in a certain position in
right,
order for it to heal. So in order for your body to rejuvenate, you got to be in a position of restfulness so that your body could rejuvenate. I mean, it's nothing like a good nap. I am an advocate for naps. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, I will take a nap in a minute. I'll take a nap right now. They go into pre-K and the kindergarten and they have nap time. There's always a period where they just put their head down on the desk and now they have the pillows and the things that they just go in and they just have that nap time. But soon as first grade go around, nap time is
mhm. I don't
over. No
even
more nap
know.
time.
Right. They do nap in preschool. They don't even do naps in kindergarten anymore. At least here they
Yes,
don't.
everything has changed, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody's so in the rush. They got so much to do. So they skip over the self care. Because
Right.
when you talk about resting, it's not just resting in Jesus, but it's resting to take care of yourself. You
Right.
can't serve God if you're raggedy
Exactly.
physically,
Right.
if you messed up mentally. You know what I mean? You're so consumed with everything else that's going on around and around that you can't rest in God. You can't rest physically. You just a mess. So we have to literally take some time just to have that, what they call that, a woosah moment,
Right.
and to relax. And I always say that I like a different world when Big Lee was going to her therapy, so she was
Mm-hmm.
dealing with a lot of stuff, and her therapist was like, you got to release, and that's what we need to do. We got to relax, relate, from everything we going through, and just release it, so that we can focus.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we can focus. And I know it's hard, and
Mm-hmm.
that's to be hard to do. It's a hard thing to do. I look at it like this. Either we are going to lay down or we're going to get laid
Right.
down.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You want to lay down voluntarily or you want to lay down involuntarily, because God will lay you down. God will put you in a position where you have no choice but to rest, but it's a biblical thing. Rest
Right.
is ordained. God himself
Right.
rested. Okay? Where he created everything and he spoke the world into existence, created man, the animals, above the sea, in the sea. He was like, okay. And on that
Mm-hmm.
seventh day, God rested. Okay? Because listen, when you rest or you take time out to kind of like take a breather, you can look at what you have accomplished. Okay, and be
Mhm.
like, okay, that's good.
Right.
I like what I did over there.
Mhm.
As soon as I finish, as soon as I get my breath, as soon as I, get up from this nap, advocate for nap, I can have a clear head and be able to do, take the next step. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
the world will have us running around like hamsters.
Right. Exactly.
Running back, and then we just burn ourselves out. Especially, what happens, Cheryl,
Well.
is when we work a job, physical, we on a job, right?
Mhm.
And the job is the job, the job, the job, the job. I get it. God bless the job. God bless us with work to be able to get the things that we need and to provide for our families and all that stuff like that. But the job don't care nothing about you.
Right. Right.
Job don't care nothing
Exactly.
about you.
Exactly. Because
They
if you
will, come
right,
on now.
if you fall out at the job, they're gonna be the first ones to go and get
All
somebody else.
in it. Don't have your job posting up fast for the next. They don't use you.
Right.
Maybe
Oh,
you
she was
eulogize
so
you,
nice.
and they got you. And they got, we have open positions for secretary of blah blah blah. We have a random manager for time, and this and then and then they got the audacity to offer the one that's going to replace you more money.
Right. Exactly.
You've been working on the promise of more money.
Right.
Oh, but they throw a title at you and for no money.
Mhm.
When the end of the year comes, they'll give you a pizza party and no money.
Right.
So they will work you literally to death and replace you the next day.
Mhm.
No
Right.
honorary, no memorial, no honorary, not mentioned, just like, and they just move
Right.
it, but that's how the world is.
Right.
So we got to take care of ourselves. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? We got to take care of our mental health, our physical health. You know what I'm saying? So we can be here not only just to serve God, but we have to be in service to our families. We got dual responsibilities.
Mhm.
So we got resting, finding time to get yourself together.
Exactly. So when we look at the Matthew 11:28, when Jesus says, "Come unto me, all who labor and are heavy burden, and I will give you rest."
Mm-hmm.
Not it doesn't say not some. It doesn't say not this one who figured it all
Mm-hmm.
out. It says all of you. So
All of you. All
yes,
of you.
yes. And he doesn't say, come to me once you finished everything. He doesn't say, come to me after you earned a break. He says, come as
Yeah.
you are, laboring, loaded down, worn out, and he will give you rest.
Everything.
Yes,
Bring
he
it to
will
me.
give you rest. Yeah. So
You
it
need it, you
doesn't
want it,
only
you
mean
wear it.
right, exactly. To me, rest doesn't only mean just physical rest. It also
Mm-hmm.
means spiritual rest. And
Yes.
when I say, spiritual rest, that means that, yeah, when we go to him, we're going to him with all of our burdens. We're going to him with a heavy heart, heavy mind because of certain things. And when we're supposed to be leaving all of that at the altar, when we go and we pray and we communicate with him, we're leaving all of our cares and everything with him at the altar. And what he's doing
Mm-hmm.
is giving us rest. That's our time to rest because now we don't know, we no longer have those burdens and things that we had going through because now you're giving it to him. So it's not just physical rest, but it's also spiritual rest that we are
Spiritual
getting,
rest.
right? Spiritual rest as well. So that,
Yeah.
that's right. Hmm.
So we talk about the church,
Right.
and let me tell you something. I'm gonna say something that might be kind of controversial, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna say what y'all is. Leave your comments and what you think.
Mm-hmm.
If you let it, the church will wear you out.
Oh yeah. Yes.
If you let it, the church will wear you out. They let them find out you got a talent. Let them find out you have a gift.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna find that you got a willing spirit. And in some churches, some not all, but some churches will come and they will take advantage of your gifts. They will take advantage of your talent. They will monopolize your time. Okay, they will forget. They'll try to guilt trip you into saying, "Well, this is you gotta give your all for Jesus.
Right. Right.
You gotta give your all for Jesus." But they forget, mind you, you not only have a responsibility, within the church, especially in leadership, but lay people have a responsibility, but you also have own responsibility.
Yes.
Okay, when you're in leadership, you're a bishop or deacon or pastor, pastoralship. One of the things the Bible says, you have to rule your household well. How are you going to take care of your home if you're not there?
Right. Exactly.
Okay,
Ex-
so sometimes, what you got to do. I find one of the most anointed words in the English dictionary in various languages throughout the world. You know what the most anointed word is?
What?
No.
No. Yes. Exactly.
N-O. No. No. That's an anointed word in
Mhm.
any language. When
Right.
you get overwhelmed and everybody coming to you for everything and they say, oh, they ain't gonna work the way sister do it. They ain't gonna work the way brother do it. And they constantly calling for it. No. Can you come down and open up the church because we need no.
No. Right.
Why not? I'm on vacation. Oh, you on vacation? Oh, that's
Mhm.
nice. I said, no, don't do that.
Mhm.
Don't call this my God would want this and God would want that, and you got to put God first.
Right.
They will lose all of those tactics. The whole time you've been putting God first because you've been coming to church, you've been doing you taking care of your responsibilities. Okay, and then here it is. Jesus died on the cross. You know that, right? He
Right.
came to give us life
Mhm.
and the abundance
Mhm.
and of life. So if we're constantly running to the church, taking care of godly business, and how do we get a chance to enjoy the abundance of life? It's not like the abundance in your spirit and your spirit. Your spirit could be this, that, and whatever, but your natural life is falling apart.
Right.
The life that God has given you, the abundance, your marriage is falling apart because you're running back and forth to look at people in the hospital, to do prayer services, to run conventions, to sing, to play the organ. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So the church will wear your behind out if you let it. Sometimes you just got to use the most anointed word in the English language. No.
Right. And what another word, that is your word. My word that I feel is anointing word is boundaries.
Come on.
Okay, because when you have to set boundaries, people don't like you to set boundaries. I have a hard time when you have
Hmm.
boundaries and you set them up, but you have to, because if you don't have boundaries with people, then people think that they can do, say, get you to do or anything,
Yeah.
or if you don't set
Look,
up boundaries. Yesterday
that's
I
right.
was, yesterday I was on social media, and there was a gospel artist, and she's, really known and everything. And she said that she found her church home and stuff. And immediately, she said she received a text message, and she said that they told her, they said, "Oh, well, do we would like you to be a part of the music ministry and all kind of stuff." And she was like, "I just came there. Can I just sit and be a part of service and all kind of stuff?" And that's exactly, an example of having boundaries. She had boundaries for herself. She's not ready to just go
Mhm.
in there and just jump in just because she's a gospel
Yes.
artist and everything.
Yes.
And, oh, I just want to go on there and jumping in the
That's it.
service and
That's
all
it.
kind of stuff. And now, and that whole responsibility. Sometimes you need to just sit back. You have to be able to set boundaries. You have to be
Yes.
able to
Yes.
set boundaries when you are a pastor, minister, or apostle, whoever, you have to
Hmm.
have boundaries. You have to know and let people know, no, this is, what it is. And people have a hard time with that. And they think you're being mean But it's not a part of you
hmm
being mean. It's a part of you have to set limits, because if you don't set limits, then you won't get the rest. You won't get to spend the
That's right.
time that you need to spend with your family. You won't get the time that you need to spend with him. If you
hmm
doing all kind of things that, go out of what, you're used to. People who go to church and they've been in church for a while, and things like that, they always think that things are supposed to stay the same and things don't change. They have their own
hmm
expectations of what you should have or do in your role that you have in leadership. And it doesn't always
Right.
work that way. Things, change. If you're from a smaller church and your pastor gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning and he comes to the church and comes to the hospital, all that, I am so happy for you. That doesn't mean that every pastor that you go to can get up and right. They have other people who are there. He'll come and, he might not get up at 2. He might get up at 8
Mhm.
because he's tired, he's weary and things. He had to set
Yeah.
that
Right.
boundary
That's
to say that I
yeah.
can't get up every time my phone rings in the middle of the night to go running because you have
Wow.
that's a boundary that you
hmm
have to set as being a pastor, or
Right.
a
And
leader
you
in
get
the
that
church.
one person. You
Right,
get that one person that always got to call the pastor.
right,
Nobody but the pastor can pray for me.
right,
I don't want this
exactly,
one to pray for me. I don't want that. The pastor got to do it because the pastor. I said, y'all need to stop.
right,
Y'all need
exactly,
the ministry. That's crazy talk. That's crazy that the church will wear you out. They will
exactly,
take advantage of you. So your time is precious.
right,
Your
right,
time is precious. Your
mm-hmm,
time is valuable.
right,
Okay? And I'm not going sometimes your emergency is not really my emergency. It's not even really an emergency. And
exactly,
they feel, oh, you're the pastor of the church. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what God wants you to do. And they don't even realize or understand that there is such a thing as burn out.
out, exactly,
We talked about the multiple services.
mm-hmm, right,
Okay? You got a church with 5 people. Yeah, I'm talk about it. You guys are supposed to be 5 people, and you got 3 services. For what?
right, exactly, exactly. Exactly. And we understand the whole
Explain to
thing.
me what the
Right.
purpose of that is.
Right. Well, the purpose of that is because they're trying to get new members to come. So it used to be that we used to just have one
Break it down.
service. We used to have maybe one
Mm-hmm.
service, maybe 2, and that was a special program and things like that.
Right.
Now, new church
Mm-hmm.
now, we have more than one service because you might live in an area where you have people that come from different places all over the state,
Mm-hmm.
or they're not there. So now they feel like they have to have more services to get more people in and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and then they
Mm-hmm.
split it up. Okay. So 8 o'clock service, let's deal. Now we have eight
It's like
o'clock service is for the
mm-hmm.
seniors. We're up, I guess the seniors are up at 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. So they have
Yeah.
no problem
Mm-hmm.
getting there to the 8 o'clock service. Then you have 10 o'clock
Right.
service. That might be the people who, coming from work or something like that. And then they have the 10 o'clock service. Then you have the 12 o'clock service. Those are
Mm-hmm.
people who went out the night before, or maybe on a Saturday or
Listen.
whatever, and hung out the night before and couldn't get up in the morning. So now they can only get up
Right.
to the 12 o'clock service. And
Right.
they the brunch people. They the people that after they leave, then they
No.
go and get brunch
Listen.
or
No.
kind of stuff. Because we talk
No.
about it. We talk about the brunch. It's a big
That's
thing
a
here in
that's a
Georgia. I
circuit.
don't know. I don't know what
That
it
is
is.
listen. That ain't nothing but a church circuit. Let me tell you something. Listen, I can see you having multiple services, like an early rising service, and then your mid morning, and possibly an afternoon service, depending on the size of your congregation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like 10,000 people, a few hundred or whatever, and your sanctuary only holds but so many, I get
Mm-hmm.
having that I'm with.
Right.
But for you to have a service specifically for seniors at 6 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock, that's nonsense. But most
Oh.
churches, I'm telling you, this is just me, y'all. It's
Uh-huh.
just me. Most churches will have these services, and they're not necessary to.
Mm.
It's called monopolizing time.
Right.
Okay, I've been a witness to this.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to churches to where they have less than a dozen members, and it's not a special service. It's not like it's usher anniversary or anything like that. But truth be told, your usher anniversary, if you have 12 or less members, that's your morning service.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Right.
Okay. Unless you're gonna have something to where you do it and you want to make it big and do it like that, that's fine. But there's some people who have church because they got nothing else to do. They have nothing else to do. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you like I see it. They
Mm-hmm.
have nothing left to do. But they have no life outside of church.
Right. Right.
They have not embraced the rest that God has given us, has ordained us to have. They haven't embraced the abundance of life that Jesus said He was going to giving us.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so they manipulate your time because I'm going to be so. And then what happens over
Right.
time? And I see they will come to the afternoon service, and then they'll warn you out at the morning service. And then
Right.
they come to afterwards. So everybody's sitting there while we're here.
Right.
While we're here. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
12 people, six,
Right. The
seven
same.
people.
Right.
Every Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And it's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. You can use that to do something else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This is what
Mm-hmm.
I've seen for myself. If it's a valid reason and you have a flourishing ministry and you want to, and then if you have a flourishing ministry with
Mm-hmm.
dozens or hundreds of members, you shouldn't be preaching every Sunday. That's why you have ministers.
Well, some churches.
Some churches,
Right.
God gave us fivefold ministry, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
you have a membership of 20,000 people, why are you preaching every service yourself?
Mm.
You're going to burn yourself out. You're not
This is
resting.
true. Yes, this is true.
Give that minister a chance to speak.
Right. Right.
Let him get his feet wet. Let her get her feet wet.
Right.
So to me, you have to do things in decency.
Right.
Your order comes along with the decency and order.
Right.
So you're burning yourself out, you're burning out the congregation, and then you asking for offering.
Right.
So that's double money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it real.
Right.
Stop taxing people's time and taxing people out in the name of Jesus.
Right.
Go home and take a nap.
Right.
Rest.
Right. On the porch. So I'm on social media a lot. So I have seen pastors talk about how hard it is for them to go and to leave or to take a vacation or to rest. And it's not so much that, they say it has nothing to do with them having an ego, thinking that they're the only person that can,
Mm-hmm.
deal with the, whatever is the service or things like that. But it is hard because when again, parishioners seem to decide that they want to do stuff when you go away.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
everything,
Right, right. They don't know how
so
to pick it. That's true.
right. So it takes a lot
Mm-hmm.
for them to leave and go. They know the importance of it, and that they
Right.
need to do it, but it is hard to do when you're in leadership. And even if you have people who are up under you that are trained to do it, you just have to, and they talk about it and they say, it's a
Yeah,
fight and they fight
yeah.
against it and they do, and they, carve out that time because like you said, if they have a wife, if they have kids, it's important for them to be able to spend time with family, and you can't make
Mm-hmm.
your whole life the church house.
That's
You
right. Yeah,
have to, right,
that's
you
it.
have to be able to spend time with your
Mm-hmm.
family. You have kids. You want your kids to be able to see you. Not to say, oh, I never
Yeah.
saw mom and dad because I was at church every
Yeah.
time, and these days,
Yes.
right. And these days, not everybody who is pastoring doesn't have or doing that as a full-time job. So some are
Mhm.
pastoring and have a full-time job. So that makes it
Exactly.
less time for them to
Mhm.
be able to spend time in the house
Mhm.
because
Yes, they
now
can.
they have two really like full-time jobs, which is pastoring and
Yes.
also working a job. Seems like it just gets harder and harder for us to get into that mindset of just having that rest and carving out that time. But it's important.
Mhm.
It's important. I know when I used to had a woman pastor who is gone now, but one of the things that she always told me, and because I had two kids and I was a single mom, and she told me I always have to make sure that home is taken care of.
Mhm.
Because I used to spend so much time in the church, you wondering when the heck is it gonna have time to wash the laundry, do any of that the simple
Mhm.
stuff that you need to do and things like that. You're down at the church, the kids down at the church, you're hardly ever at home, things is lacking at home, then get to go to the
Mhm.
grocery store, cook, all of those all of those
All that
things.
stuff, everything
Right.
is just undone. And I like to go
Exactly.
on vacation. I want to go to
Hmm.
the amusement park, and it's true. What just brought up a good point. Like some pastors, they're kind of like leery on leaving or going on vacation because parishioners they will do. Oh, that's not gonna be here on Sunday. Well, I'm
Right.
not coming.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm
That's
not coming.
exact right. That is what I heard.
I'm not showing. I'm not coming. I'm
Right.
showing up. And then what it is, that shows what that shows what the congregation thinks about their service because their service is questionable.
Mm.
Is your service to God or is it to the pastor? Are you coming to hear from God or are you coming to prop up the preacher?
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because your
Exactly.
service is God first. You
Right.
see, you want to throw it at me, but you want me to do something about keeping God first. When
Right.
your pastor say, "I'm going away for 2 weeks," the deacon ministry is in charge, and I have a ministry schedule set up, so they're going to preach. They're going to be here. Look, do yourself a favor,
Right.
and if you love me as your pastor, show up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Because
show
right.
up.
Because if you go to church and you go there to hear your pastor give a word, then you should have enough trust in him that he's going to get somebody who's on the pulpit that's worthwhile for you to go and listen to, that's going to carry on the message that he's been doing
That's what it
at the
is. Yeah,
service. You can't just say, "Oh, he's not going to be there on Sunday," because you just so used to him, and that means you missed out on because now because you only want it from that one person.
that's it. And then you go, Mr. John, he preached the word, you missed it. I missed it. What he preached about? Oh, you should have been here.
Right.
You
Exactly.
should have been here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If your service becomes questionable,
Uh-huh.
because now, instead of you looking for God and your focus is on God and what the Holy Spirit is doing, you waiting for the preacher to come.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
like, they need rest too.
Uh-huh.
They might not tell you, but they get tired of you calling them 2, 3 o'clock in the morning for
Exactly.
nonsense. Your son always in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Your son always in trouble.
Exactly.
Every time he got it doing him,
Right.
little Ray Ray,
Mhm.
he done got arrested again,
Right. Like he's the
and
bail
I'll be like,
bondsman.
I'm like, yeah, okay, well, little Ray Ray don't have to be in timeout for the next how long? Yeah, I'll see Ray Ray in 3 weeks. Good
Exactly.
night. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because Ray Ray know what Ray Ray do. Sometimes you gotta let Ray Ray be Ray Ray. And
Exactly.
stop calling you 2, 3 o'clock in the morning every time that boy get in trouble. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Okay?
Right.
You should be praying for your son. You
Right.
should be laying hands. You got that power.
Exactly. That was
You
another
got that
point.
power.
Right. That was another point that I heard today as well. From a pastor, and she was talking to the women, and
Mhm.
the pastor is to equip us with the word and equip us to give us what we need so that we can then go forth. So exactly,
Yeah.
if you can't get to the pastor, you're supposed to be able to pray. You're supposed to be able to lay hands. You're supposed to be able to do what you need to do because you can't get to the pastor. You are anointed to be able to do that. He's
Yeah.
giving you,
Yes.
yes, his job every Sunday is to get up there and give us a word so that we can become equipped. That's what
Yes.
his job
That's
is,
it.
to
That's
equip
it.
us. But yet
That's
and
exactly what it is.
still,
No.
right, when it's our time to be and to step into that, we don't
Mhm.
step into that. The first thing we want
You
to do
don't
is
step
pick up
into
the
it.
phone. First of all,
And here's the thing.
right. Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. What folks don't understand, and what people need to really understand as church folk,
Mm-hmm.
what we need to understand is that the deacon ministry is there for a reason. You need to understand what the deacon ministry is there for. Okay? In a nutshell, the deacon ministry is there to take the weight off of the pastor so that they can preach the word, because that's their primary responsibility.
Right.
The deacons take the widow and all of the functioning that's going on in the church. So if you need somebody to pray for you,
Mm-hmm.
if you need somebody to talk to, call the deacon.
Right.
They're
Exactly.
ordained. They're set apart by God. They're the second, the Lord's church. That's how that works.
Right.
But they don't. Some churches they don't teach that, so their parishioners don't see that, and so they act accordingly. It's always the pastor, the pastor, the pastor. But the pastor biblically is responsible for preaching, teaching, and disseminating and hearing from God. The deacons take care of all of the preliminary functions of the church.
Right. Right.
That's why I like certain churches where they assign you a deacon, prayer partners, those types. That's what you call.
Right. Exactly.
That's what but then here's the thing: in you calling them, don't wear them out with nonsense.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, where's your power? Like you said, where's your power?
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you can't get a prayer through. No, sometimes all Ray need is an old fashioned spank. You spare the rod, you spare the rod, y'all. And you smart. Sometimes Ray need a whooping.
Mm-hmm.
A good whooping will straighten Ray clean on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's biblical. Whooping. If God chastises whom he loves, what's stopping you from chastising your child?
Right.
You know, I'm not saying no, don't go out there saying the message say put them in the hospital. I didn't say that. You can discipline your kid, so you don't have to keep calling pastor all the time.
Right. And
You know what I'm saying? So it's a
right.
good thing
And
you can
again,
have you on
disciplining
our own accord.
right. And disciplining for everybody doesn't mean that you need to put your hands on them either. It just means that
No,
you need to give them some type of direction. And
you gotta use your word, your anointed word. You gotta set boundaries for the kids.
right.
You gotta let them know what they can do, what they can do. Now, mind you, they're gonna test the boundary.
Right.
Now, when they test the boundary, you could discipline them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take away that PX5,
Right.
take away that cell phone that you pay for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Ray will be all right. He's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
But you call him pastor for the 15, 16, Ray sometimes maybe Ray needs to stay locked up. Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Because he seemed to want to got that attraction to keep going
Exactly.
back and forth. You know, you've been praying for Ray, but Ray was like, nah, I don't know.
Right. It's funny to me because when I hear people and they say the only time like I said, I went to the same church for I don't know how many years since I was young, and I had the home church, our home church. And I don't think I got the pastor's number until I got into leadership. And when I got his number, one, my mindset was I wasn't going to be calling his house for anything unless he said call there, because he had
Like you
business
said,
hours. Right. He had business hours. So my thing was I would, we had something that we needed to discuss. I would discuss it during this normal business hours. I mean, when you at work, don't you have normal business hours?
listen,
Yeah. And
you know the
then,
movie? Yeah,
right.
I like watching the movie. They had this scene in the Five Heartbeat. And dude came in there and wanted to talk about, he was, want to talk business. The dude was like, listen, my office hours are from 9 to 5. But dude he kept talking. Well, I need to get this done and you got this done. He said, my office hours are from 9 to 5. Dude kept pressing the issue. So they said, okay, you ain't understand. So they kindly dangled him out of the window until he understood that office hours from 9 to 5.
Right.
Now, I'm not advocating violence, but sometimes you have to set boundaries and let people know what your office hours are.
Exactly. And again, the leadership, fivefold ministry, their job, their role is to be about their Father's business and to
Yes.
equip
Yes.
us so that our relationship with Christ is strong and that we can lead our households or be disciples in this world. And they are not our personal, they have boundaries. They have,
They're not our personal therapists.
Exactly.
Our personal therapists, our personal psychiatrists, our personal doctors. They're not the go-to for every single solitary thing. This is why the church is set up the way that it is.
Exactly. Now, do we have those functions? Of course. There are pastors who counsel. You counseled me. So there are right. Yes, they have office hours. You set up an appointment and you go to him or whatever for counseling or whatever in that time frame.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you call all during the night when you having a breakdown, because that's not the relationship that you have. Again, you have to think that the pastors don't only pastor you; they pastor the whole church, the whole congregation. So if everybody is working right, if everybody's working on that premise that I can just call him anytime I want to call him, then again, how is he going to get the rest? How is he going to be able to spend time with his family or his children and all of those things? He won't be able to do that because now that's what his thing. So yes, he has to set boundaries. And this whole thing that we talk about, rest and all of that. Yes, sometimes for you to be mentally okay and things, you have to say no. Back to your anointed word. We have to say no. Sometimes we have to set boundaries because then you won't get the rest and things that you need to be able to function and stuff on a regular basis. And then your body starts to get weary or tired. And then you're down to, and then those same people that's coming to you are going to be the same ones that'll be going on and you're not fine. Okay.
Did you become pastor emeritus?
Right.
And then then you got another pastor that's on, and they're gonna wear him out.
Exactly. It's gonna wear him out. Exactly.
That one member supposed to set boundaries and say no.
Yes.
Get your rest, because it's biblically mandated that you rest. If God can rest, so can you.
So can you. Exactly.
Okay, take a nap.
Right.
Turn up the computer. Okay. Don't get that spirit. Don't get that fear of missing out spirit, because I think that's what a lot of us get. They think they're gonna miss something. And I go back to children. When it's bedtime.
Right.
Give you a hard time, and it's time to go to sleep.
Right. Exactly.
That's that spirit of missing out. Don't develop that spirit.
Exactly.
Then you don't miss up.
Right. And you asked the question in the beginning, what does that look like? That looks like, you're right, setting certain boundaries for yourself personally, knowing that this
Hmm.
is the time that you're going to set aside, reading your scripture, studying, praying, and everything, turning away from the phone, coming off the TV. Some of us can't turn the phone off or whatever. It's time to go to sleep, and you still in there in the hour,
Right.
got to be
Yeah.
looking in
See?
your phone.
That's it.
Or you still you watching TV 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. No,
Mhm.
you got to get up and go to work the next day because it's your favorite show. Like you can't watch it the next day. Or so we can't go out to eat without,
Mhm.
looking at our phone. We don't have
You
simple
gotta be like, oh,
conversations anymore because we're so busy in, the phone. And
your
again,
phone.
I understand. I'm the court, so I'm on social media and things like that. I get some of our topics from going onto social media, but I have to set
All right.
boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm not going
Gotta
to,
get down.
Minister James, no, I'm not on here or at 10 o'clock, after 10 o'clock, you're not going to get a message from me because
You
I'm
shut it
asleep.
down. You gotta shut it down at some point.
I'm
You gotta
asleep.
shut it
I
down. I
am
see people
done.
all the time in that they send texts, they're doing all the time. And me, I'm a night owl, because I do a lot of things at night. That's just, I focus more.
Right,
That's just
right.
how I'm wired. But I gotta take a rest too.
Exactly.
So sabbatical is important. Sabbatical, I believe, it simply means that you are taking a break from everything.
Exactly. Exactly.
From everything and everybody. Go to the mountain if you need to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to take a staycation, you don't
Right.
gotta spend no money. You just stay home. You can stay home, enjoy your family. If you're single, catch up on your program.
Exactly.
Get some sleep.
Right.
Take a walk in the park. There's something that you can do to take a break from the monotony of what's going on in life.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? No
Yes.
matter how
Because
hard it is, I'm going for a walk.
right.
I tell my wife, well, I'm going to take the garbage out. That's cold. When I say I'm going to take the garbage out, that's cold. I'm going for a walk.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I need to relax, relate, and release.
Exactly.
Because, if I can't get myself together, I'm no good to anybody,
Exactly.
including me.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. My kids used to be in bed by 8 o'clock. No later than eight
Yes.
thirty. And people
Mm-hmm.
would call my house. Their kids would still be up and doing things. And no, you didn't hear a peep out of my house. My thing was you had to be in bed by 8:30. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to hear anything or all of that. So if you wasn't asleep, that was fine. But I just wasn't going trying to hear any noise. You as a
That's it.
parent have to do that because again, you come home from work. I had to do, get dinner together. I had to get to make sure homework and stuff is done, get out the school clothes for the next day and all of that kind of stuff. So I got them in bed by a certain time. So then I had at least an hour or so before I went to sleep that I had time
That's what
to
you
spend
get yourself
time
done.
and just have peace and
Mm-hmm.
quiet and all of that. If you can do that in the day and have your, as a mother, as a father, get your kids and stuff settled and all of that kind of stuff. If you're married, have that time at least once a week, twice a week to be able to
Gotta do it.
spend, time with your
Mm-hmm.
spouse and your kids or whatever. You have to be able to carve out time to, just to
Mm-hmm.
woosah and just to get that time to
That's it.
relax. Yeah.
We answered that question.
Yes.
How does that look? Set boundaries
Yes. And say no.
and say no.
And they say no.
Set boundaries and
Yes.
say no.
Yes.
Okay? Take a nap. I'm an advocate for nap. I will show you how to take a nap real quick.
Yes, because I be calling.
I'll give you a tutorial on how to take a nap real quick. I will show you.
Yes, because I sure enough will text him in the middle of the day or something like that. He says, "Oh, I'm taking a nap," or I know if I don't hear from him right back and anything, then I know he's taking a good old nap. I don't know what a nap looks like. I'm sorry, I haven't known what a
So,
nap looks like in forever. It's very rare that I get a nap, and I had the grandson who
mm-hmm.
never took a nap in school.
Never took a
The
nap.
thing he never knew anything about a nap. So I haven't seen a
Mm-hmm.
nap either in a long time. The main point is
You
to be
got
able,
big.
Yes.
Be able to do it. Be able to
Yeah.
do it. But yeah, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to do it because
Yeah.
burnout is a serious thing. Body fatigue is a serious thing. Mental fatigue is a serious thing. And if you're not taking care of your body and your mental health, it leads to a whole bunch of other stuff. Your body will break down on you.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
and now if God say, I told you to sit your behind down somewhere. So you ain't listening. So now I'm gonna sit you down. I'm gonna take care of you, make sure you good.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? You know, 'cause that's why I'm telling you, you know, of those who labor, who work, who got to carrying something,
right.
then bring it to me and I'll give you rest. But you don't want to take that. You don't want to take that invitation. Okay, I'm gonna send you that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take care of you,
Right.
but I'm going to. So you got a choice.
Exactly.
Either you gonna
Exactly.
sit down or you gonna be laid down.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Go to bed, go
Exactly.
lay down. Then 20 weeks, something go job. Stretch your legs. You look out the window. Something
Right.
just to break the monotony. And you could take a quick break and that will rejuvenate you so quickly.
Yes.
You know? Or certain
Right.
jobs, they had uh quiet rooms, that's what they called them.
Yes.
And you would go
Yes.
into the internet, you heard of those. And they would go into this room and they would put a sign on the door, occupy. You know, they
Right.
might have one or two, whatever. And you go in there for 20, you don't spend the whole day in there sleeping. You know, that's how one
Right.
goes.
Right.
You go in there and you 20
That's
minutes
right. Right.
and
Exactly.
back up.
Right, right. And studies have shown that jobs that do that, that people are more productive at their jobs when they
Yes.
get that time to be able to do that. Unfortunately, I've never
Mm-hmm.
worked at one of those, but
You know, to pray for you that you get a rest, Father, in the name of Jesus, that you get rest because
but
you got to make a way for her to get some rest because
yes.
she missing out on rest.
Yes, but people who are definitely creative and things like that, that is what they definitely do. People work at Google. Some of the companies that, fun companies to work for, they have set atmospheres where people go in there, have
Mm-hmm.
game rooms, they have all kind of things, and they are more creative if they get their time away from the desk and not just creating things, but get that time to, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
rest, give their
Yeah,
mind time to recoup and things like that. So yes, there are plenty
that's
of
it.
studies out there that say that this is what you definitely need to do. And Minister Hunter looked like he ready to take a nap right now. So I really hope that we had a wonderful time
Oh,
on the
look,
porch of the pulpit
truthfully,
today.
truthfully, truthfully, what I need right now is a nice cup of coffee and I'll be all
Yeah. Well, it's too late in the day to be talking about some coffee. It's
right.
at
It's just,
it's
listen to me.
7:27.
You know, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I take a nice call. I'll be on
all
that.
right.
I'll still take a minute.
Yeah,
I'll
all
still take
right. Okay, well,
I'll still
that'll
take a
be a nap for you, and that will be me going to sleep and not waking up until tomorrow morning for me. So, but I hope you liked our discussion on the porch and the pulpit today about,
Yes.
about getting rest and making sure that you get your mind and your body right, and that's important. On next week, we'll be back into our heavy topic. But again, just like we talked about, sometimes we have to. So we're praying that you like the porch and the pulpit for today, and that you like and share and comment. How do you get your rest? What are some of the places or things that you do to get rest? And
That's it. Make your comments. Let us know. You know, you sit by the ocean, you go to the park. Some people like to sit by a body of water and, let the Lord restore their souls. You know, that's a good one, So let us
exactly,
know how do you get rest? How do you take a break? How do you
exactly,
get
right,
away from it all?
exactly.
Yeah.
So we are looking forward to you tuning in. We have a podcast that hit this week. So we hope that you're looking at that and you're sharing. We want to see your comments. And also, we want you
Yes.
to tune in. Minister Hunter has his podcast on Mondays. He goes on and he does his devotional Monday Manna. So we're praying that you're
Hmm.
tuning in because the Lord really moves on Mondays when he does Monday Manna. So we hope that you are tuning into that as well. And again, keep us both in prayer that
Yes. Yes.
traveling graces for Minister Hunter, that he gets back safe. And then also for our
Mhm.
ministry, we have a lot of things that's going to be going on as far ministry wise. Since we started this podcast, the Lord has really been moving and just taking us in so many different directions. So, just
Yes.
keep us in prayer.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
any parting
God is
words,
good.
Minister Hunter, before you go and take your nap?
Man, well, listen, I never know. I never know. So all I gotta say is keep things in perspective. Don't take life so serious that you don't get a chance to enjoy it.
Right.
Okay, enjoy the life, enjoy the abundance that God has given us.
Yes.
Okay, Jesus came to give us life, and that we have life more
More
abundantly.
abundantly. Yes.
Okay, not in our spirit, in our spiritual life, our natural life, our homes, in our churches. There's that. Okay, and there's nothing like a good nap.
And on that note, we will talk to you later. God bless.
That's it. It's wrong.